right, welcome to another edition of the Salone Sports Show. And I do with me, my co-host, winner Emmanuel. Welcome Emmanuel to the studio. Welcome to the show, Emmanuel.
Yeah, Magdalene, thank you for having me and good day to all viewers all around the world.
All right, Emmanuel, we keep going and hopefully Bernard will join me in the studio soon for talk about the
Yeah,
ANSA African Cup in Sydney. But today we go look at the World Cup, ongoing World Cup, as we see Netherlands and Argentina don't be the first two teams for reach the quarterfinal stage. And we go look at the group stage matches, how the World Cup done they go, the performance of the players them. And also, we go look at the Sierra Leone Premier League as the board don't release the fixtures for the league season, where a lot of people be done they anticipate for see. Well, finally, I know say Lions, FC Calon, Blackpool, Bow Rangers fans, they're all set for the league proper as according to the fixture when we see it's like Bow Rangers will get for the opening with
yeah,
Republican.
thanks.
It's going to be well a good match because Republican making then return to the league after several years. Is it that now two people they talk say Republican and police not they play league together because na fumble there.
La Fambulen.
It's never police there at the league, they're not qualifiers, they relegate them come up. All right. But it's good because they get this manager now we take over the team and so far so good. Able for make them promote come to the league. That's wonderful. That's the kind of people they expect for take responsibility and take over teams them now salon. And also Emmanuel, we go look at the answer cup we now cup we competition in Australia. Congratulations to Cape Verde. Una don't qualify to the finals playing against Zim. It's
Yeah,
a sign of fresh air because for the first time we dey see two um teams went not to the usual phases they go into the finals. That's
yes, yes.
wonderful. And also the NOC, the National Olympic of Sierra Leone, where plenty people that they talk say the NOC this, the NOC that. Finally, they're going to Congress, when at the election next weekend, and we see three people don't come forward say they want for takeover from Dr. Patrick Coker, when are the outgoing president after we don't serve in 2 terms. And so you get Medsoure, you get Samshu Mustafa, and Uda again. Prince Wale when are the current
Prince Suare.
treasurer. So that's it for the NOC. We go look into that as well. So Emmanuel, we take the first shot. We see with Salon Premier League. Plans on the way, fixtures they out now. And first of all, the government we get for deposit money for support the league. Where them put now the board account when about 200 million plus, according to the announcement from the minister. So what you make up of that is like the money now in the board be they wait for because all along we don't hear say league they start September, October, we come into November, they be say the 19th, we not see the league. But just after the money where the government give, we see the big announcement that the league will start with Bow Rangers playing Republicans.
Yeah, thank you, Magdalene, once again for having me. And quickly, Magdalene, before whilst I would analyze them, please try to attend to Mr. Bernard concerning the link as it is struggle. And we see from the earlier on the effort on the struggle in terms of putting the league into commencement. Because we all know, Magdalene, that for run the national league, it involves a lot of money. And we know see the FA being somehow the struggle in terms of acquiring sponsorship towards this year the league that we country. So that was one of the key to be make the league that we put on hold for see how the nation will able get the FA will able solicit fund so then we able start up the league. And with good smile we will be see from the president through the minister of sport that then we able give this huge amount of money we then we able use presently for start the first phase of the league. And for me, which is a good sign. But me question is this: is that the grounds we have to take into consideration that we get the female league we also done the go on. and we no get that sufficient grounds in place wherein for make we get both leagues then for play without having a clash. Taking into consideration that we national stadium and practice field wey for me don use presently dey under renovation. Up till now, I no give out it for make we go use am. So the FA somewhere get for get some challenges in terms of field allocation for both the male Premier League and that of the female Premier League. But all being said, like it's a good sign at least that we nation don ready back for play football because we don see say most of wetin dey happen now na the World Cup Magdalene. We see nations the way dem league dem very strong. They get some hands of dominance, except for the like of Germany, we suffer some major upsets again. But we see like for a country like Japan, we see how they try to put up a very good performance in the World Cup. All as a result of it. Right now, the J League also don't get some momentum. You see, so for build up a very good national team, you get to give some attention to your national league because any kind of way it's the hub whereby you get for get succession of players. People get for start from the grassroots, come up to the senior level or move up to the professional level. But it has to start somewhere, and we're in the national league need for play. We go serve as a hub or a base center. So it's a good one for we country, and thanks to the government for short a good gesture.
All right, talking about the significance of the league, one thing where people get concerned with now the rush. We can see in other league them international best practice. They can give 2 to 3 months notice of when the league they start. Like English Premier League fans, Italian league fans, Spanish league fans, they know say when league end in May, it might kick off late July or early August. For Italy, most time it can be late August or early September. So but in the case of Sierra Leone, we see a situation where after the money come out, they announce the league dates, and that could be next week. So a lot of people they say the time frame too short, while others they say, well, the team then we don't get enough time for prepare themselves. So Emmanuel, what do you think about this in terms of best practice? How we for try for change we perception of how we they do things for able forget is because looking at the time when the league they start now, it's obvious that rain get for affect them at the end of it all because it gets for run through May, June because it start now, December.
Yeah, Magdalene, I think that's now also a poor planning from the FA. We take into consideration the structures the way we don't dey talk about football. Say by now we FA for don't go past this kind way how dem dey so now. But also we can get a look at say we can say whereby wetin you dey talk bare money different from wetin you dey talk before money. And if all wetin surround with FA in short fall na finance, Magdalene. Because even if you plan, if you not get waiting for spearhead the planning, it's a waste of plan. And for the teams that already participate in the league, then be already done inform some of them no. Remember, this league for us starts before even the World Cup that starts. But because of some financial lapses and challenges with the FA been get, them is yet for put the league on hold. So this emergency meeting or emergency call where they put up now for just formalize everything with the clubs. So whether they forgive so amount, give this past check through clubs. But dates of or preparation of the league for commence, they been already inform clubs then that when I get for prepare at any time, I sure where we get this funding, this league here, so they start. So it's really sad at this point in time that we're not able to get like a stable timetable. And that's all is surrounded Magdalene, we country, the financing of the league. So the league they able push by how then they able solicit fund and honor. So that's the challenge of the league where we get.
All right, looking at the fixture, but before that, let's welcome Bernard to the show. Welcome to the show, Bernard, for the second time.
Welcome, welcome, Magdalene. Welcome, Emmanuel. Thank you guys for getting me here again for the second time. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, and I
Thank you,
know
Mr. P.
you getting more pressure now because we are reaching to the end of the African Cup.
True, true, true.
All right. We're also expecting Dopey to join us. I've sent him the link through the Facebook comments. Dopey, you can join us through that. We're waiting for you. All right,
Okay.
I will come to Bernard, but Emmanuel, let's continue with the Sierra Leone Premier League. So on the weekend of on next weekend, we will see Bo Rangers playing Republicans in both stadium, Barbure Warriors playing FC Calon, Lamboy FC playing Eastern Lions in Lunge. Lamboy FC is one of the newly promoted
Teams.
side. And we also have FC Wansin playing Port Authority at Parade Field. And but the parade, well, it's all good because only the finals now they are preparing for Summer City
Yeah.
versus KTR. And we will see on Sunday, Mighty Blackpool will host Old Edwardians at Parade Field, and Konneh Diamond Stars will host Freetown City Council. So, looking at the fixtures, Emmanuel, what do you think the opening weekend will look like in the Sierra Leone Premier League?
And thank you, Magdalene. I think again for be very, very colorful, and especially the match we get for take place at the parade field, FC Chwansi and Port Authority, Mighty Blackpool and Old Edwardians. And we know say these teams in now they na community household names. So it get for get more attention. And we see lately them it also puts up some good maintenance work on the parade field. So the field in a good order presently for play. My only fear now is that when the rains go fall, that's when the field will be terrible for play on. But I hope say by that time they go done the maintenance work at the national stadium, and teams will be able like relocate most of the matches go there and play 'em. And also we see this game we get for play between Bible Warriors and FC Kalon at Potloko. Magdalene, you know, says community that then get that team there and they get for rally around the team very, very well. And in order for be an easy match for AFC Calon, because taking into consideration the distance, we are not playing at home in Freetown. But Potloko is a short distance where we can able to spend a minimal amount for reach up to within the next 2 hours. You don't reach the as supporters and support with FC Calon and come back to Freetown the same day. We know say like Bible Warriors all the time don't get a huge community support we can bring a major upset when teams they can go for play them up there. So I should say that game will be another colorful one during this weekend. And Mythic Magdalene is the match where Eastern Lions, the defending champion of the year before last, get for play with Lambo FC. You know, as a newcomer, the attention of the public not there on them, more the pressure there on Eastern Lions. But we know say football, we see waiting they happen nowadays. There are no more underdogs because everybody they put up now a very good preparation to win. People are no longer coming into the stage now just to play football. Everybody wants to win. So that get for be another interesting match for see the newcomers, and that will give them a test run for see how best they will able stay or how long they will able stay inside this year Sierra Leone Premier League.
Yeah, and we see many of the teams as well. Don't they release or don't they unveil new set of players? We see Bo Rangers being get for unveil some of them players them during the week where um we understand say yes like Bo Rangers get one or two players where them bringing whilst you get teams like Slipher, Freetown, I think they changed their name now. Freetown,
Yeah,
Freetonian, Slipher also. And
Slipher, yeah.
you see the likes of Anderson don't join them from Eastern Lions. And
Excellent.
Anderson are one of the players away in midfield game. Very, very, very impressive. So what do you think about the inclusion of the new players there, man? You think say any difference go there in terms of the addition to some of these teams them or their need for do more?
And Magdalene, teams they always sign due to their depth and their needs. Because in football, you don't just sign, say, I want a squad. Nowadays, you sign in players to meet your demands. If you have a midfield shot, if it's a 6 or a 8, you know that I'm not going to just sign an ordinary midfielder. I need to get a six, a defensive six, and I need a number eight. So if you observe the Sierra Leone Premier League now, teams are signing by their needs. The formation that a coach want to play, he looks out for the players that he's going to use. So the inclusion of Anderson into Slifer, it's a good one for them by virtue of his experience where he don't get inside that league. He go able to ginger up the new boys there that are coming in. Because there are times teams you need leadership. And with Anderson experience, he go able to cater and push the younger ones then for play very well. And that's going to bring trust me, a good flavor into the league. It will make the league more interesting. So we're not gonna forget like a dominance anymore. Like when you say Easter Lions, you go play Lambo FC, say now Easter Lions is gonna take all the 3 point. No. So now you get for be like, oh, let's wait after the 90 minutes. So that is what presently I'm foreseeing in this year Premier League, that we get forget an interesting result that people will surprise. Look like waiting the up within the female Premier League, Magdalene. We
Yeah.
are getting interesting results because teams are no longer like say we want to participate. No, you're coming in out to compete because everybody want to make the name, everybody want the title because we see our best now. If you keep your good performance, where it will take you.
Yeah.
So we're gonna
So
have an interesting weekend.
yeah, we see new names in Rangers, Jumu Kamara, and now forward we get Kayla Kelly Masakoi, also now a winger, and you get another midfielder, Wayna Mohamed and Kaba. So these are some of the new addition to the Bo Rangers side. But Emmanuel, let's talk about the money small. About the old money, according to what they announced, is about 4 billion plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bernard, you are twice in the studio.
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting out from the phone. Sorry, let me get out from
Okay.
the phone. Yeah.
All right. So with that kind of amount, you think say enough for one the league? Because we see a situation last year, the league don't go to the middle point when teams then begin for threatening say them go boycott matches, they're not go play because they not get enough money for continue with the league. So this time around they don't get this kind of boost. The first payment now the government do where then deposit na the account and it remain a little bit more where then get for
Yeah.
give them later. So you think say this money we able because according to the old note now about 4 billion some hundred. You think say go able for run the league itself that will not go see a situation where teams then go begin complain say we don't have to continue again because we not get money.
Um, Magdalene, if you take an estimated cost of the Sierra Leone Premier League, we league no what's more than 1 billion leones. If you take all the expenses around teams,
Why
then
you think say
traveling
not
and
worth more than that?
because let me take into consideration, Magdalene, the distances that teams are covering is very close. It's very close. Like we're not getting anything like flight expenditures where you need for flight players. Yeah.
No other part now.
Yeah. All we need for do is to just hire the one boss, go to Million. And we hire me and maybe you get 1 million leones. It will take you to Konneh and free turn back. So practically with this amount of money where the government don't give, if wisely spent for able to take this league to conclusion. Because we know say corporate houses and get for coming again, the likes of Africell, Airtel, Gento, they all get for coming with some amount for boost up the league. So with this, for me, it's a good start, and we will push the league go before for me we not get any hiccups tomorrow.
Okay. Um so I'll come to you back. Let I get Dopey. Dopey, welcome to the show for the first time.
Thank you very much for the invite.
All right, Dopey, we did talk about the Sierra Leone Premier League where they don't release fixture for and it will start next weekend Firstly, Dopey, whose team you support na Salone?
It's the Lions. It's the Lions.
Really?
Oh,
It's
Emmanuel,
It's the Lions.
Emmanuel,
We didn't lie.
FC Kaloy dey o, Emmanuel, FC
we're the
When
Kaloy.
best. We're the best.
it's that
They
small.
dey beat the woman team. FC Kaloy don't beat the woman team till they don't tire.
Yeah. No,
All right, so
with
Dopey.
Magdalene, we have some issues in terms of player transfer, and we were rejected. So it's the law. So we just have to cope now.
All right, Emmanuel. One thing when Nick say Emmanuel I talk my is Emmanuel sabi
I'm
talk.
telling
Even I'm
you.
not talking to people. So
But
Dopey, what do you think about?
every excuse or everything out to the court. We didn't even catch that
uh,
of guy.
Dupi.
Yeah, so Dopey, my first question to you go be what do you think about the Sierra Leone Premier League? It go kickstart next weekend on the 9th. That will be on a Friday, and Bo Rangers, the defending champions, go open the league with a match against Republicans in Bo.
Yeah, I think it's like Emmanuel was saying. I don't know if it's too sudden. Like the fixture doesn't come on, and I don't think say maybe most of the players in the country not a lot of had a lot of preseason matches. So I don't think say there was a lot of preseason matches going on. So in terms of fitness and skills, I don't know if most of the team there were like the one that they don't do transfer because I was keeping up with the transfers. If the new player they're not accustomed to the coaching system or the way they play, all that thing, and they maybe because the league they start next week, they might just throw them in there and see how it goes. But at the end of the day, na Sierra Leone they do things
That's the
different. The rest of the world, so you can't really can't really go in there and say this and that. Maybe behind the scenes they were playing friendlies or they were trying to
Yeah,
build a
yeah.
structure for the teams because I feel like most of the teams this year they wanna beat the defending champions, Borough Rangers. We then take out from we Eastern Lions, because we can't win it all the time.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think we'll see what happens.
yeah.
We'll keep because I just think like the transfers, the new players that have got in the team now. I don't know if they don't accommodate them like in terms of position, in terms of the role where they get for play in the future. But at the end of the day, the league just starts, so there's plenty of time for them to be accommodated into what they're gonna do moving forward.
Yeah, a couple of friendlies played and play friendly galas them. I think FC once in win two of them galas then they
Galas,
that tells them
yeah.
well prepared. But maybe FC Cologne and Arsenal they win Emirates Cup, but but this season we
When
dey
they
talk
want
half
to
left
play,
half.
Arsenal for
Dopey, this season we dey talk half left half because Arsenal they fly up.
but the
Thank
season
you,
has not
thank
yet.
you.
It has not yet.
Dupi, I know you're not Chelsea man.
Yeah, of course, man, of course.
Dopey Emmanuel say the Sierra Leone Premier League for what like 1 billion sef. So waiting the longer from the government quite enough. You think say that enough for 18 teams and the league board for one because from this money they get for give teams then seed money probably then get for give
Mhm.
now they get for the pay referees. We want for see first state improve. We don't want for
Yeah,
see that
exactly.
guy Becky where they used last year. That we want for see the system itself. So you think say the 4 billion plus where they announce where they will get from the government enough for run the league?
I think if that's a high, I don't think so because, like you said, in terms of health, you can't really put a price to it. Because if the league and the nation they try for improve the feel level we get first, that's a problem. So the injuries come very quickly. So in terms of recovery, all Lentin and the first aid people that they get for employ, and also the referees, because the referees, without them there is no football. Let's be honest, because they make sure that they call the game to the T. So they deserve to be compensated for their roles that they play in this game. There's coaching staffs, and even not the referee, the grounds people. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes that need to get compensated for the roles that they play. I think it might be enough, but it might not be enough, depending on how the structure is, or how they're gonna use that money that the government has put towards the league moving forward. You know.
Yeah, I know you think Australia, you think about the health insurance and all, but
Hey, of course.
Exactly.
that's all right. I'll come to Una too, but I'll come to Bernard first of all. Bernard, it's been a long season in the AFCON in Sydney, and we are almost at the end now. Yesterday, we saw the semi-finals for male and female. Sierra Leone, congratulations to us. We are into the final for the girls. And your team, Zim, will be playing against Emmanuel and Dopey team. They are two against you. Congratulations to you guys
Thank
for
you.
knocking out South Sudan and Sudan. You guys did well. You beat a whole nation. You did two nation divided. And you it's a big pain in the Sudanese community yesterday. Big pain. So,
Yeah,
Bernard,
yeah.
first of all, tell us your take about the competition so far.
First of all, I just want to say good evening, Michael.
Bernard, how
And
are
I
you?
want to thank you, Magdalene and Emmanuel, for bringing me up here and for the sterling job we are doing to broadcast our tournament and get it to the four corners of the globe. A lot of people are watching this tournament from the comfort of their homes. Everywhere,
Yeah.
everyone was tuned on the TV. And the other thing I want to say is all teams in the tournament are my teams. Where I
Okay.
come from.
Good observation.
He's saying it now. He's saying it now.
I know.
Yeah. Africa is one, and the purpose of this tournament is to unite Africa, and I'm happy. Yes, it's been long indeed, long, but interesting. Yesterday it was momentous, and I want to congratulate Zimbabwe and Cape Verde for making it this far, and also the losers, South Sudan and Sudan. They are not losers, like what I said. I congratulate them and every other teams who were involved in this tournament who are no longer part of the tournament, and also the juniors who are still playing, and they'll be in the finals as well on the same day. And the girls, yeah, it's been interesting, and I'm very pleased with the way things have turned up.
All right. So, looking into the preparation now for the finals, one might want to know how far ANSA has gone with putting things together to ensure we have a successful finals like the previous season.
It's still work in the progress, but we are putting together a program which we want to be good and entertain our people and make this one of the most memorable finals in the history of this tournament. We're still on the ground. We still have got a week to prepare, and my committee, they are putting things in place so that the African community will be proud of what we are doing here in Australia, and we are inviting every community to come and see us and see our culture in action and see how rich we are, how united we are, how one we are.
So, tell us what the difference between this season and the previous ones in terms of organization, in terms of team preparedness, and also spectators, attendance, and all.
This year has been an open season because there was no COVID and there were no restrictions to enter the place. There were no capacities. People could enter the place freely. And teams were given enough time to prepare because we opened the season early, and the season has been very long. We added more teams. We've got 38 teams altogether, men, women, and juniors. And we know how it is when you are managing 38 teams. That's quite a big number. That's the biggest difference we have. Junior teams, 12, 6 women, and 20 men. And the season was very long, given that our teams have been increased. And I can say these are the main differences between this year and the past 2 years.
So, what are some of the challenges you faced?
The increase in number of teams. Managing 38 teams is different from when we had only 16 teams plus 26, 22 teams, but now we're 38. So these are some of the challenges we came across. The number of participation is quite high this year compared to the past years.
Okay. All right, Bernard, I'll come to you again. But Emmanuel, you've been one of the consistent people in ensuring. I missed a couple of matches due to some extra duties and commitments, but you've been always in the field, ensuring not only watching Cape Verde, which is your team, but watching other matches as well. So tell us your biggest stake in this year's tournament.
And Magdalene, thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to congratulate Max Tribune Sport. I think this year your presence in this league or in this tournament has been like a game changer. And I can tell you, Magdalene, I have friends and people from far, as Mr. Banda earlier mentioned, that can sit comfortably in their houses and enjoy the beauty of this tournament. And interestingly, Magdalene, this tournament is growing in name and in size. And people are more talking now about the African tournament in a view that even us that are participating in it didn't have that knowledge and recognition that it has gained. Only what we thought about is like this is like what we need to do every year. Now we are beginning to see that it can lead us into professional grounds. And yesterday, games being I saw individuals, I saw some key stakeholders that are part of New South Wales Football Administration that were there to scout players. I was like, wow, why are you guys here for? Some of them are there. So we need to like restructure our teams. And we know at the end of this tournament, we're going to see difference within the leagues in the NPL or maybe up to the A leagues. And another aspect about this year tournament is the officiating side. Trust me, the organizers have really tried to give us better referees compared to the past years.
Hey, this one is a good one for you, Bernard, because I know Emmanuel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good one. Thanks, Emmanuel, for the compliment.
Yeah. It's the truth. I remember past years, Mr. Bernard, the quality of the referees compared to this year. And one side of about this year again, our referees have an intercom where they can communicate with each other. The referee inside and the lines, they
That
can
was a great
communicate. Sometimes
improvement.
improvement. So that observation was, I was like, oh, indeed, this tournament is great. It's having the color that we are expecting.
That's
So
why
big
Emmanuel,
kudos.
one thing I observe when streaming the
Yeah.
matches, like the referees will make a call and then you see they
Yes.
change their decision because they get communication they can communicate directly with the AR1 and 2, and then you will see the
Yes.
decision change. So
Yes.
it's one of the biggest improvement in the tournament this year.
Yeah. So that side for me, like I really appreciate it. And to the board, we see now the administration has been a listening administration, Magdalene. Now, when teams put in their complaints, they are being acted upon. If we don't
So
say
they were
immediately,
listening before.
well, I want to reserve that part. But
Because
this year,
Bernard is
trust
still
me,
there.
this year it's a different administration I'm seeing.
Are you endorsing
Trust
Bernard
me.
for third term?
Well,
Earlier.
if he wants, if the constitution mandates him to do third term, why not?
Thank
Because
you,
to be
Emmanuel.
sincere, we want good administration to continue. I'm not supporting an individual. I'm supporting good administration. And what this present administration is doing, Magdalene, I'm seeing progress. And if there's continuity in this, why not? That's my own point. So I want progress. And if I'm seeing progress, that's what I follow. And this present administration nowadays, they are listening, and we are seeing them answering and acting upon the complaints teams are putting up. And if you observe this year, Mr. Banner, the rate of violence is less. It's really less because why? You guys are listening to our complaints and you're acting upon them. So that act of grievance won't take them into match because it has already been settled. So we see now the game, it's much more about love and fun. We go there now, we entertain each other, we enjoy the game. From there, we go back to our different homes. So kudos to the administration, and we hope it will continue. But the only point, Magdalene, I'm raising up, we want to know the number of medals that will be awarded to each teams.
But last year, every South Sudanese player received a medal. Am I correct?
It should not be only for players, Mr. Banner, because remember there are administrators that are also part of this tournament.
I think Emmanuel wants a medal.
That part is going to be taken care of. We heard about it, and it's going to be taken care of.
Yeah, because past years administrators were not recognized, and they are the one doing most of the dirty work.
fine.
Emmanuel, automatically declare myself as the VAD technical member. No,
He deserves one.
No, me too. I deserve one because I will.
Oh, yeah.
VAD.
Yes.
I'm with the Sierra Leone girls. I will get my medal as well.
Oh yes. So you say, Dopey, what will you say?
Yeah, you are right there. I mean, we need to recognize the work you guys are putting in.
The way Emmanuel is on for president, I'll be voting for him.
Yeah, Michael is a big supporter of the tournament. I know.
Look, just to tip off what Emmanuel is just saying, he's not wrong at all. You know, as a young man, you know, playing in this tournament now, supporting my fellow Sierra Leoneans, Africans, is right. The administration has come a long way since the days we used to play. I can't remember.
In Auburn.
Jones Park, Auburn. Yeah.
You know, that was the organization in terms of like the teams, the quality, the culture. The thing is, the culture has always been there. It's never changed. It's how to unite everybody to make it a one culture. I feel like those days we were segregated, Sierra Leoneans here, Ghanaians here, Sudanese here, but now I think we're all one. There is no differentiation. Yeah. It's all because the setup, the structure, we all come together. Like Emmanuel was saying, there's been less violence. We go there, you know, we communicate with different ethnicities, different parts of Africa. We learn stuff that we've never learned about people we probably see every day, but you never talk to them. And then when you go there, you're like, oh, hey, man, I see you, probably your neighbor, or even someone that's across the road from you. I think, yeah, it's all thanks to the culture that these guys behind the scenes, Mr. Bernard and the rest of the team behind him, that has ensured that, you know, the tournament has been playing very well. For example, look at where it started and where it is now. It's amazing. Yeah. It's that's saying that there's still more there behind the scenes that they're gonna give. But obviously, Mr. Banner is not gonna spill the secret today.
Yeah.
But you know,
well said, Opie.
from the days I used to play, it's come a long way. Parramatta Park, you know, Jones Park, like it's all because of the people, the journey that they have started. You know, he started something. He looked at it. It's like, you know, we have to make this big because this is something for us in Australia, us Africans. It's a community thing, you know. And now that people outside are looking in, you know, it's good as well that we get to invite people from other countries, other parts of the world to also play in this. I like that. That's not only segregated to only Africans. Because other people can have an insight and see what we are like. They can take that and then take that to their community and culture and learn from us. We should not be the only one learning from all the time, learning. People need to learn from Africans as well because we have a lot to give.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So this is something that the administration has, you know, done, that has put the New South Wales African Cup on a map. Because if you go to other states, we're probably the most talked about African Cup because it goes for 6 to 8 weeks. Where are you going to find somebody that has...
people fly from other states to play the African Cup?
You know, where are you going to find like one or two? This goes for 8 weeks. You know, this is 8 weeks of intense football. Young boys, young girls, young men, they're all energized, excited. It's passion. They're playing for something. You know, we're not just going there to kick a ball for fun. You can see that everyone's hungry. There's a fight, you know, and it's all love. It's not like going there to destroy. It's a fight of love. And with that fight of love comes a long way. So for me, I'd like to tell Mr. Banner, thank you. Although I'm retired, I'll come out of retirement soon.
You are now
I'll retire, but Mr. Bernard,
you've retired, and you are now my number one commentator.
Well done. Endorse for the media.
Emmanuel, you see this commentator in the course.
Thank you so much, Michael, for the kind compliments. Look, when we started this journey, we wanted all these people to come to us, and if you can see, with the introduction of juniors, more and more people from different cultures are now coming to us. They know. Last time I went to an event in Melrose, I saw Mark Busnick, and I was surprised when he said, "Oh, I know that thing," and unfortunately, I can't come because of the World Cup. But once I get an opportunity, I'll come down there. This is how the African Cup was grown, and you guys have also made it grow bigger. You know how we are being broadcasted now. You know, you guys are Magdalene, Emmanuel, and Michael, the new commentator here.
Michael is emotional in commentary. When he sees his friend missing a ball, he will swear at them.
Yeah, right. You have to put it away.
All right. So, Bernard, let's talk about the next 2 weeks, because we have 2 weeks of intensive prep and 2 weeks of the teams getting ready to make sure we get the winner at the end. What are the plans ahead of the third place and the finals on the 17th?
Yeah, first of all, we are planning for the third place playoffs. You know, we listened, like as Emmanuel said, that the times we always allocated for this event were not good for the teams. So we said it's better we separate the days to encourage teams to come and participate. And we also have juniors finishing off their rounds. For the juniors, only in each category, only 2 teams go to the finals. So they are finishing this weekend. They play first in the morning, then the playoffs will be played in the afternoon. Then after that, we start preparing for the big one, the grand final, where we have 2 junior categories, women and men. So we're putting things together to make it a happy, funny day for Africans and all our guests, you know, other communities. We want them to come and see, like what Michael said, what we are. They must learn from us as well. I remember I always said we want these people to come to us, not us going to them all the time. And Michael has put it succinctly, and it's up to what he said. We want them to come and see what we are, who we are. Yeah, and we want to put some show as well. Maybe some cultural dances will come in and perform. Well, we're just looking into what we gonna you guys as entertainment for the
you have artists. Sierra Leone, we are not in the men's final. We have artists. We have Flim P, one of our best. So
okay, I know that would be great to see those coming in, and I know the time will be squeezed, but we'll try as much as we can to put together a show. Then the real grand final comes, and I'm sure it's gonna be very entertaining finals. You know, women, juniors. I want people to come and watch the juniors as well, because there is intense football there. These are the future players for this tournament. We don't want this tournament to die. And first of all, it must have players, and players must have an interest. I'm so happy. The interest out there in the juniors is quite amazing. They really love this tournament. You know, they're bringing in their friends from other communities, and you know, our tournament is growing bigger and bigger. Then the actual final is going to be good too. I mean, women and men.
I think in the women's division as well is going bigger, because I'm seeing girls bringing their friends to play. You know, it's nothing about money, but they just want to play and be represented.
Yeah, it's going to be big. I can see them bringing their friends, and that's what we want. We want everyone to come and see us and see how rich we are as an African community. That Africa is about unity. Africa, it's about peace. It's about love. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting.
So, Bana, what are you expecting in the finals?
For all the teams, juniors, women and men, it's tight, and we want it to be like that. As you saw, the semi-finals, of course, one game between Kavad and Sudan looked one-sided, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was tight, although
Yeah,
the
it was
scoreline
tight.
doesn't show. As you
Yeah.
saw, the Zimbabwe South Sudan game, it was very tight. It went to extra time, and you could see what was happening, swinging from one end to other. And the girls, the South Sudanese girls and Sierra Leone girls are quality teams, and they are very intense. So it's gonna be very, very. It's gonna be fireworks from all angles.
Okay. So, Emmanuel, let's talk a bit about the quarterfinal, because since the quarterfinal we having issues and we didn't come online. So, but what do you think about the quarterfinal matches, and what was your best match, or which of the matches do you think was one of the toughest in the quarterfinals?
I think for me, one of the toughest match within the quarterfinal was it. I saw a very good match between, because for us, Cape Verde, we played against South
South
Africa.
Africa.
Yeah, that for us was a good run. It was a good one, but I think the match that South Sudan played with Central Africa, that was a very tight match. The guys from Canberra, those guys put up an outstanding performance, and let's watch out for them. They just needed much more experience in this tournament, because there are times playing this tournament, there's an experience that is required. When you get the experience required, you know how best to keep yourself in a match, how you can hold a match, when to attack, when to sit. So that was what was lacking, like in that Central African Republic team. But that was for me one of the toughest and the tightest match I saw that was played in the quarterfinals. And we saw again Nigeria and that of Zimbabwe. That was for me the talk of the tournament, because we saw a penalty that was awarded due to the help of the linesman, because the referee wasn't sure about it, so he had to go back to the lines and had a conversation, because they had the radio talk, and he ran up to him and the line said it was inside the box. But sincerely, for me, what I realized, the referee didn't saw that the the foul was committed inside the box, but it was the lines on the other side that said it was inside the box. So he had no other choice, because it's a team, and he was also part of the officiating side. He had to blow the penalty, which for me was like, wow, a big blow for the Nigerian side. And we saw, is he was and the coach player, is it Jamba, had to convert the penalty, and that was a sweet finish being made, and they were able to qualify for the semi-finals. So those two games for me were like the talk of the quarterfinals: South Sudan and Central African Republic, and that of Nigeria and Zimbabwe. Because we saw really, and the Zimbabwe boys were able to show their youthful talents. Because Nigeria had to sit back; they were playing on the break, whilst Zimbabwe took it to them. Show us what you have. But Nigeria were afraid to show Zimbabwe what they got, due to experience and youthfulness. These boys are young; they have the energy. Whilst Nigeria, most of them are ageable players. You can't follow these youths running around just like that. You have to play them with experience. So that was for me one of the best matches in the quarterfinals.
Dopey, what will you say about the quarters? We saw quality matches, talent displaying what they have, and at the end of it all, we got to know that there are some teams that will find it difficult in the semis, and we saw that yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. My boys from Canberra, they did really well. I think for them, the journey, traveling that 3 hours, 2 hours, coming and playing, that also plays a lot on your body. Traveling in the morning and coming and playing. in 90-minute football. It's a lot. Um, Sudan versus Congo Brazzaville was
Brazzaville,
also
yeah,
a very good match because it was a close match. I think Congo were missing one of their star player, Omar Toure. He got a red card in
yeah,
the last game. I think if he
against
played
Ghana.
in that game, Congo Brazzaville probably would have qualified to the next round because they had all the talent Congo, but they didn't have the two strikers to finish off when they had the chances. And Sudan obviously took that opportunity when they had the opportunity in the game to score, and the match was 2-1. But also Zimbabwe versus versus Nigeria. I was saying
Okay.
Nigeria had giants in the back end. Everyone was keep foot. So I think what Michael saying is true. Sometimes youthness also overtakes experience. Nigeria
Yeah,
had experience, Zimbabwe had the youth players, and they all had energy to never stop running, to keep coming and keep coming. I think Zimbabwe, I was saying earlier, were one of the dark horses in the tournament
yeah,
when they were coming
yeah,
because everybody was looking to South Sudan, everybody was looking to Cape Verde because those are the two strong teams coming in, and also Ghana. But Zimbabwe was never really the talk of the town, and the fact that these young boys has come this far, making it into the final, stinging everybody. Yesterday they were like a bee; they stung everybody, and it was a shock. Everyone in the stand was pretty much God bless, confused of what happened. But then again, that is football. You can put money on this team and say they're gonna win on paper. They can look the favorites, but once you kick that ball and at the 90 minutes the ref blows the whistle, whoever scores the most goal ends up winning. So for me, those two matches were pretty much outstanding. My boys Cape Verde, we do our job. We go there, we do our job. We don't play around. We don't play around. We need to
yeah.
win this year. We're taking it home, man. So
Thank you.
Uncle Bana tell John by messages that were coming for him.
I was surprised. I was expecting at the end of the Cape Verde match to listen to people singing in Portuguese, but it was a surprise to me to hear
We're
people
learning the
singing
Portuguese.
the
It's
Sierra
coming.
Leone songs. Cape Verde people singing
After
Sierra
the World
Leone
Cup,
songs.
we'll learn the
Who are you
Portuguese.
people? Are you Sierra Leoneans?
Sierra Leone was also colonized by Portuguese, so we are half.
Benny Cake, they Cape Verde. All right. I'll come to you back to talk about the Africa Cup, but let's talk a bit about our National Olympic Committee in Sierra Leone. They'll be having their elections next Saturday, and it's the biggest sporting body in the country. They are managing many international sporting events when it comes to the Olympic, the Commonwealth Games, and sometimes also they collaborate with the Ministry of Sport and Sport Council, the National Sport Authority, which is the NSA, to prepare for the All African Games. Emmanuel, the NOC will be going to elections next Saturday. What do you think about those that have come out to contest the position of presidency?
And Magdalene, this is one of the biggest election back home. For me, the NOC is the biggest sporting body. And we are expecting to see difference in terms of the way they do things. We've seen the end of second term of Mr. Patrick Coker. I think who took office was it in 2017, and he was re-elected unopposed in 2019, and now his term of service is ending on the 10th of December. So we're expecting new head to come into his position. We take a look of Mr. Prince Soare. What I'm looking, Mr. Soare has served in that executive for a very long time.
Yes, since Dr. Fadluddin passed away, because
Fadud,
Dr. Fadluddin was
exactly,
officially elected as treasurer of the
treasurer
NOC, and when he passed away, they replaced him with Prince Swale.
Soare,
Prince Swale, the president of the National Wrestling Association.
Wrestling Association. So he has been within that NOC circuit for a very long time. He's well experienced. He knows the in and out of the administration. So for me, like, and he's an household name in terms of sport in the country as the president of the wrestling association. Though we're seeing it a discipline that is a bit struggling in terms of funding and nation participation, but it is what it is. He's doing his part well in the National Olympic Committee, and we see Samson Mustafa
President of Badminton
uh, and
Association
we look at at badminton,
and
and
former deputy director of
deputy
sports.
director of sports, and we look at the effect of badminton, the recognition nationwide. Magdalene is not something we can write about.
We don't even
We
have a
see
badminton gym.
Magdalene, I tend to be professional.
Ah, well, I'm a journalist, so I will go in there. He's my friend.
Magdalene, I choose to be professional. What I know is that he's the president of badminton, and it's not something we could write some about. You, as a journalist, you can report details about it. And he was the deputy director of sports, and we've known him within the sports cycle for a while.
And he's very popular across the board when it comes to international scene. He's very popular in the Commonwealth organization for sports. In different organizations, it's been there. Samshu is very popular, but popularity might not be the thing because we've seen the president going out now for the NOC cannot manage the handball association properly. He's been the president of the NOC and the handball association.
Yeah.
And handball is one of the worst sporting discipline in Sierra Leone.
You're correct, Magdalene. And when I was going to school, I remember I used to play handball. And I remember when Prince of Wales had to launch handball, Mr. Patrick Coker was there. But disappointingly, within 2008 to 9, handball had a momentum that later died out when Mr. Patrick Coker later gave more attention into NOC activities. And since he moved over into NOC, everything surrounding handball lost its momentum. Intensely, you can see players moving to Guinea to play competition. They're going to charter buses to take them for this competition.
No, they don't charter good buses. They chartered pan body and those tetanus cars, tetanus vehicles. The last one they used were tetanus vehicles. Very dangerous for athletes. You can
Very
see, even
dangerous
if you're not
ones.
a mechanic, you can see those vehicles are not good enough
So
to travel with
they are
our
really not, yeah,
ambassadors.
ambassadors. They were really not road worthy. So we saw like the administration of handball really drops down. And for me, these two names, trust me, Samsu and Prince Suare are the key contenders. Because if you look at Samsu, he has the international flavor. But what about the household recognition? Because the voting is going to be by stakeholders. In
So
the
what
NOC
about
elections,
Mohamed Toué, the former Secretary General for swimming, and he became the president now this year. He has been there for a very long time. Since he came in as the secretary, we saw drastic improvement in swimming. That we can give it to him. Swimming started qualifying to Commonwealth events. They've been into several Olympics. They've been one of the association that is consistent with representing the country internationally, whether it's in Africa, Europe, world champs, African champs, but they're always there. Never mind, we haven't seen much in terms of laurels, but they are one of the organized association. Is also coming out to contest for the presidency. Do you think he has what it takes to um, steer the ship at the NOC?
Magdalene, and we all know this is a cycle. The NOC election, we can always say like, now that you sabi. And I will tell you that the election of the NOC has been done by stakeholders. That is representative from the different disciplines.
Yeah, and it will
And
be
within these
21.
disciplines, Yeah, 21. Within these disciplines, the likes of Prince Suare and Samson Mustafa has a solid relationship because they've worked with them. An election
Being in the same association before Samshu moved to Australia, it was the Secretary General for Wrestling Association.
association.
And they had an issue, they separated, and Samshu has to go and organize his own association.
We see a lot of breakaway in sport, Magdalene. But this it comes towards sports politics. It's about in local term now, order the people in Sabi. It's about how you can convince the stakeholders. If the if the stakeholders thought that you're suitable for the international high, they're gonna put you in. It's not
So,
about who the athletes want.
so among the
So
three, if you had to vote, you are a professional table tennis player, one-time
yeah,
Salone number one, seed number one. You've been to the Commonwealth Games, African Championship. Now you have the voting rights to vote on behalf of the Table Tennis Association. Who will you place your vote on?
with all due respect, I'll place my vote on Mr. Prince Suare.
Why?
Taking into consideration, there was one key thing it did in front of my eye.
Mm.
When we came for the Commonwealth game, Magdalene, this guy does not only serve as the treasurer of NOC, but is stepping as the president of his association and as a motivator and coach. He's one of the guys that will leave his room, come over to his athlete's room, see that they go for training, work with them at their training grounds, drive with them back to their room, make sure they are resting. And this is one of the president that will take special fund and say, guy, if you make this fight for me, I'll give you extra $100. That was what I saw in his leadership.
So you saw motivation, you saw a
I
leader.
saw I saw a leader in him.
Yeah. But there are
So for
some
me, like
people believe they have issues with Samshu and Prince. Some people, it's not coming for me, but what people are saying, the con man talk, and these people are playing on the hard games at the NOC. So some people, for them, they think, like you said, in sports politics, sometimes it's about who people know, sometimes about who will help me when it came to the office or when it come
that's
into the office. That's how people vote. They can know you can be popular, but people will vote for you based on if this person come at the office, he go help me for travel, he go help me for then to the team, he go help me for get position within the system. So they've been criticized based on conman issue. I don't know what they mean. But that's now waiting there at the table. So as an athlete, you sense anything like that, or you think say that go determine whether they go win or not?
Magdalene. We all know the country that we're coming from. That will not be an obstacle towards people voting them in. It's not a secret. It's just like we all know that you have a left hand and a right hand. Magdalene, if you are part of the system, these are some of the attributes your name will be placed on.
Mm.
But he that carries the crown must be of strong head.
All right,
And
talk
these
out.
guys have been in that system, they're of strong heads. They've alleged them, we've never, anti corruption has never found any one of them guilty, Magdalene. All that we are hearing is allegations. None of them has been found guilty.
The one thing I always say is that there is no clean sport administrator in Sierra Leone. Michael, you've been on the road, you've been on the track. Michael also, the good thing today is that we have Bernard, and I saw one photo, and I believe
Yeah,
Bernard also played football because I saw his
sure.
photo one time. I was searching for his name on Facebook. I saw this photo, this young man with this football jersey. It looks so. I said, no, so Bernard played the game as well. I determined that. I don't know if it was Bernard or not, but I believe he played. But Michael here was a professional athlete. He went to Sierra Leone at one time. He was there to compete. He tried his best to get his place in the national team, but there was lots of drawbacks. Michael, the NOC, when it comes to athletics, that's one of the biggest office that determine participation. Not that they are selecting athletes, but for Sierra Leone to be represented in the biggest stage, world stage, the NOC has a big role to play. What do you think should be done in this election?
Look, I don't know too much about Sierra Leone um, NOC because they don't involve um, a lot of international athletes overseas. So there's a bunch of us that still compete and still run to this day. Unfortunately, I had the opportunity to go there and compete as a 16-year-old. I went on holiday and I was still training, and the opportunity came for me to run at the Boxing Day carnival towards the end of the year, which was a very very good experience to see what it's like to be in Sierra Leone and to run and see that it's not only football that the country holds so highly. Athletics is one of the sports that they do appreciate on a daily basis. Um, as a young man, then I felt like there was a lot of opportunity for me, myself, and a bunch of us still to this day to represent Sierra Leone. I think I'm not too sure, so I can't speak on behalf. Like Emmanuel has a lot of knowledge. Magdalene, you have another knowledge. As for me, I feel like I'm an outsider looking in because I don't have any knowledge of how the association works. I only get information here and there. So
Yeah.
I only go what
Yeah.
I know or hear.
Yeah.
There is a lot of improvement to be made, to be frank.
Yeah.
There is a lot of improvement to be made.
Yeah.
If you look at the last or Commonwealth Games, if the IOC or the Commonwealth Games Committee was very, very serious, they had, myself included, a bunch of young, talented athletes across the globe that were willing to represent Sierra Leone at the highest level. And this is not people that do not know what they're doing. They practice their craft and they're very good at what they do to this day. The opportunity came, and I think somewhere down the road, the consistency is very poor. They will come and tell you one thing, and then someone else will tell you another, and then you're sitting at home waiting for a phone call or a text message. Little do you know, they'll put out a list of the people that will be going to a Commonwealth game. So it's false hope that they give some of these athletes overseas, because we all want to represent our country. For me, it'll be an immense joy to put a jersey of green, green, white, and blue one day in my athletics career. That's one of my goals.
So you still
But
have interest in representing Sierra Leone?
definitely, definitely, I've never short side of representing Sierra Leone. Australia is my country that I live now, but I'm born and bred Sierra Leonean. Even if I wasn't born there, my parents, come from there.
All
So,
right.
um,
So
if they can get somebody that understands that there is people out here with talent across the globe, because if you look at Nigeria, half of the community, half of the athletes, they don't even live in Nigeria. Some of them are across the globe.
Yeah.
Ghana is catching up. Kenyan, I think only the Kenyans have homegrown talent, because Kenyans, they're just different in terms of that marathon sprinting and all that stuff. Liberia also have two amazing athletes that are coming with Joseph Fambule, I think
yeah.
also 100-meter sprinter. Sierra Leone has the talent. It's just who is going to be the person going to looking for this talent to put Sierra Leone on the map. That's my issue.
All right. Yeah. So for me, I think this is the NOC we saw for the past 8 years.
Yep.
They can't even show for a website, a consistent website. If you type now Sierra Leone National Olympic Committee, you can't see anything with consistency. No functional Facebook page, no functional Instagram, Twitter. They are not just there. It's the media aspect of the NOC is one of the worst in the world. There's lots of improvement to be made. And I think this is the time they need to elect someone that will change this aspect. If you want to know about Sierra Leonean athletes who are Olympians, you can't find anything. You can't find anything, and it is sad. So the new person, whoever wins, Mohamed Toure, if I'm to choose, with my honest opinion, I'll go for Mohamed with what he has done in the swimming association from where he take them from to where they are now. I'll go for him. But the fact is, like Emmanuel say, in sports politics, you don't determine the winner, the delegates do, and you have 21 people that will be making the decision for over 8 million population, and the honors is with them. So we wish them all the best and hope we get a better NOC president, someone with Sabi Bluff, because Sierra Leone is going to appear with, oh my God,
Go
it's a
get
good
blocked now.
Antonio.
Inside throw below. Sure.
Yeah, and we need people wait for know how for prepare. You can imagine we going to the Olympics, we go in halves. This batch go today, this go tomorrow. We need people wait for think about competition. Not that we just want to go to the Olympic for participate, say Sierra Leone come. It's sad, and we need a change. We need improvement. We need now for go there, say Salone win medal, Leknap and short put. We win medal. I like Napa walking race, we win medal, but not always. Yeah, the NOC go say, well, that's the role of the associations involved. We are just there to make things happen. But it's sad, and the need for step up the game. Big time, big time. All right, let's go to Bernard because it might be having something to do in the morning. So Bernard, um our viewers might want to know what the champion will get this year, the champions and the runners up, and maybe the third place winner as well.
First of all, you changed my name. The name changed there. I'm not sure, but it's fair. It's not a big deal. Look, we've got a few surprises for the champions. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we
Yep.
can hear
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, we've got fantastic offers for the champions, runners up, and third place. Of course, I'm not going to say it here, but I think it will be good. Year by year, we are improving
Say
that
offline,
area,
offline,
and
offline.
hopefully next year it's gonna be even bigger. You know, we are working very hard behind the scenes. People think we just rock up to the field and start organizing, but we don't sleep. We want to see this thing getting better and better every year. Of course, we meet a lot of challenges along the way. You know, like in any management, you have challenges, but challenges make you strong. But we are promising really good things for the champions, a good return for their investment. Of course, it might not be enough, but good enough for them to be able to pay their regio next year, have fun with their teams, and enough to also hire fields. I know teams need fields for training. That has been
Yeah.
our biggest challenge. You know, we
Okay,
we
so let me do the calculation. Have fun with their teams, enough for rent,
Yeah,
hire teams. that will be around. That will be around.
5 grand.
Well.
I wish we could do that. Our budgets are very, very tight. You know,
Yeah.
we've come a long way. If I tell you the history of this competition, the time I started being involved is said. I mean, I need to say it here. There was a time when crooks came in and pilfered all what we had, and we started from zero. I can tell you that year, the winners got $200, and
Really?
the losing finalists got $100. And the winners were Ghana against Zimbabwe. The only other final
Mhm.
Zimbabwe went into, they got $100, and we started building our cash because we were very stringent. We started doing, uh, financial controls, recording our things, and yeah, and we grew. We grew big and bigger. We grew big and bigger to get where we are now, and I'm happy with that. As long as the association is financially stable, I'm happy. That's one aspect of managing the
Yeah.
association, which people don't look at.
Yeah.
People
Okay.
don't. You need to, otherwise you go broke. We don't have a consistent uh, financier. unlike other associations. You see, so we rely on our own pockets, but we realize that we don't want to burden our managers. I'm sure most of the teams, I know how teams are run. Most managers are the ones who fork out the money. If you are one manager, you fork out yourself. If you are two, if you are three, if you are five, that's the reality. So we want to make sure we don't burden you guys. As you see, the subscription or the radio never really changed, but with bigger facilities, you know, referees are being paid more referees. We're able to squeeze in juniors and women don't pay, juniors don't pay. You know, we are very financially innovative to make sure we accommodate them with the little we have, and we don't want to increase fee for you guys. You know, it's no, I know how hard it is for you guys to get the fee.
It's a difficult one today. I will not ask Dopey and Emmanuel who they think will win. So next week, what I'll do, next week this same time,
now they can say,
finalists.
It doesn't matter, I'll be listening.
And I won't ask Bernard about Zim because Bernard is the father. You know, father of many Christians. So Bernard is the father. So he won't say a word here about Zim. We'll talk when we see. But today, next week we'll focus on the final itself, and we'll bring the two finalists, probably the two coaches and the captains, to join us in this show next week. Thank you, Bernard, for joining us today. We're gonna allow you to go because you might have something to do in the office in the morning. Like myself and Emmanuel, we work in the afternoon, so we are idlers. We don't have anything to do. We are ready to watch England game 6 a.m. We are not sleeping.
6 a.m.
Thank you, Magdalene. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for being. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Sorry, Mr. Bernard. Magdalene, before Mr. Bernard go, there's something very important that might need clarification. We are seeing in the aspect of the FIFA now where we are talking about gender parity. Is there any tendency for your executive to have like a 50-50 in terms of prize in this tournament? Like the male prize and the female prize to have an equality?
You see, this is what we are working towards. It is a work in progress. But like what I said, the females don't have a budget. They take a little bit from you guys, but with our work behind the scenes, we are trying to make sure we're financially stable so that in maybe next year, hopefully, we're gonna have that gender parity. But as you have said, we are growing this game, the women's game. It's quite difficult because of cultural boundaries. It's very hard, and I want to thank the teams who have put together, the female teams. It's not easy. It's very, very difficult. So hopefully from next year, that gender parity will be achieved.
Yeah, I think it's only left in the area of finance or the championship prize money. But in terms of the organization, it's one thing I admired. When you look at the structure, you have the Kisha, the Aminata, and myself coming in as a volunteer. And we have Anne. I haven't seen Anne much this
season. She's in Qatar.
She's in World Cup. Yeah. So you have that balance. And also in the area of referees, we saw a lot of women as AR1 and AR2. Yet to see a woman in the middle for the men's matches, but in the female matches, we saw quality officiating from women. So I think that's a good one. And it's good that women are controlling the media in this competition. It's very good. Thank you for that, Bernard.
And the other thing is we encourage teams to have female managers.
Yeah, you know, and Aminata is one of them. We have Ghana, lots,
Zimbabwe.
And we also have Mariama in the Sierra Leone women's team, Zim. So it's a good one. And I'm coming to kick out Emmanuel in the Cape Verde.
So be it.
Okay, guys, you can close me. I don't know where I can leave. I can't see the button to leave. You can.
So just leave studio.
Yeah, but if you can't see it, from my end, it's saying kick out the guest from the studio. But I'm not gonna.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a nice day. I ate that thing, saying kick out. I don't know why they did it. All right, so let's go to the World Cup now, guys. Quick one, and then we'll go. So. Look at talk Rio because we are now.
Mr. Bernard is gone. Yeah.
I mean, don't not speak Aussies now. because me and Emmanuel will still get a strong Sierra Leone accent, but give us
Maybe
5 years
I
more.
get strong. The accent it come and go, come and go.
Give us
They come
5
and go.
Yeah.
years. Your mate, your comment time here. You wait for me. 5 years. All right. Let's talk about the World Cup. We see quarterfinals, Argentina, Netherlands already. But now we start because Emmanuel will not be able to talk from the group stage. What thing you think about the competition, the surprises where we see Saudi first turn people with the win against Argentina? Other teams
Yeah.
like Morocco topping their groups, as an African team. We saw the match between Cameroon and that of Brazil, one of the
Brazil.
first African team for win a match against Brazil in the World Cup. We saw some good matches as well. What do you think about the group stage and to the quarterfinal where we don't go so small?
And thank you, Maggie. I think for me, this don't be one of the most interesting World Cup so far. So good, and because we see a World Cup where in the term, as Abelion say, underdogs no longer exist. Because really, teams do not come again into the World Cup for can participate. Teams then come for compete. So that was why you see the likes of Argentina being get a shocker at the first game. That was a real sting. We not kill them, but it's like energize them for take the competition very serious. And then like today, that sting did not affect with Australia because we suffer heavily from the hands this morning. And we see the likes of England, Magdalene, we don't put up a very outstanding performance. Because if you take a look at this England team, there's a defender where people they cry down, but for me, he don't really prove himself. He dey try. He don't push the eight
Wait,
gears.
we have
And
three. Wait, we have three Harry Maguire. We have three Harry
oh,
Maguire. We have Harry Maguire in Manchester, in England, and Harry
office
Maguire
appointment.
in Ghana. Harry Maguire in Ghana.
I go say,
okay.
The
But
political Harry Maguire.
I would like to recognize the Harry Maguire of England. You know,
Okay.
we're not to the one
to
of
be
Manchester
sincere,
United.
this not to oh yeah, this na a player where be don't suffer like a post-traumatic stress. He went back, stay off the game, try for rebuild himself mentally, physically, and for come and see him still put up that outstanding performance in the World Cup that is highly competitive. Magdalene, it's not that easy. And we know these are the big stages. For somebody for come up from that state of mind and come up and show some amount of outstanding performance in that big stage, trust me, we need for put down some pressure on that particular player. And we take a look at the English attack, Magdalene. They have lads that can make a difference. They can score at any time of that clock. The like of Greenlish, Rashford, Saka, Foden, Harry Kane. At any time
Emmanuel,
of that clock,
you
they
dey
can
try for
score.
Forget
analyze
Mason
England
Mount. Forget Mason
because you
Mount.
don't over analyze we Australia game. You dey waste time because you never analyze Spain's game. Spain, Japan, and South Korea. You dey waste time. You talk quick where you reach to
and,
England.
and to be sincere, I therefore be biased. Magdalene, sorry about that. We are the English speaking, on a beer we.
Now we all day.
On a beer we. So, and you see, we
Yeah,
midfield. The lack of Rice, don't put up an outstanding performance, so I don't keep with midfield in a sober form. So I think for me, England are one of the teams that we qualify with a good heads in the group stage, and I see them as a title winner in this World Cup. Let's take a look at Spain. Spain, Italy, excellent at Papi showed and Campan. Magdalene, they play knocking the ball around the tiki taka and the goals are not coming, except Costa Rica will help them for qualify. Because if they should not have hit those number of goals against Costa Rica, by now they should be shouting, hey, Spain of all. Therefore, don't join Germany in the exit door.
Yeah.
You see?
At one point in
So,
that match, when Costa Rica scored, and also was it South Korea or Japan? Japan scored.
yeah.
It was like Japan, Costa Rica, I was like, I want it to be like this. I was speaking in tongues. And then Costa Rica spoiled my night.
Yeah. And we see the Group A, Senegal of all, Magdalene. They put up a surprise for we in the African nation, in the World Cup, sorry. They show us that indeed they are the pride, present, and the champion of Africa. Even they get a major blow when the star of the land, the star of the nation, we Sadio Mane, been get an injury blow, we keep her out of the squad. But yet still they were able to pull themselves together and say, you know what? Plus money minus money, we're gonna play for the nation. We're gonna make Africa proud, and that is what we are seeing from them. And we see the like of Morocco, Magdalene. That's one of the team where me think Sekiebu beat any team inside this World Cup. Morocco. And one thing I see about Morocco, they don't get the nerve for saying no, we defeat this team. They also believe that they can win. One of the teams that should have easily qualified was Ghana. But Ghana, it seems as if they lost the nerve in the competition. That was why they weren't able to make it far.
Now I think they were all about revenging against Uruguay rather than going to win.
That's
Like
Suarez. I ain't go play for. I go play.
they were all about Suarez. So
Go play for
it's selling
Suarez.
like
Yeah,
in them progress.
you see. And we see the likes of Magdalene, France.
We
They have a
fought
very good.
African country. Those are for
Then,
African country and qualified.
you're
France,
right.
Morocco, Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal. Yeah, and we see France, Magdalene. Then reserve, then relax, then third man because they've already qualified. They get a very good attacking force. That I would tell anybody that, but they need for work on their defense. Then get a slack in defense, and if that defense they take her up that guy with the Magdalene, I'm not saying they're not going to win this World Cup, but they get for work very hard. So we see one of the outstanding team in this World Cup, Magdalene, we made a look at is Japan. The Japanese are putting up an outstanding performance wherein if people then sleep by the time they wake up, they're going to win this World Cup. We see the effect of the J League on this team that they get the NIG and the determination. The names are not there, but they get the determination. And the league structure don't help them forget a very quasi national team. That you can pull Mr. A, you bring Mr. B, the team can still maintain in form. That is what I realize about the Japanese team. It's about their form. When they do substitution, the form still they maintain. And if you not be careful, then they improve on it. They not they decrease.
And then they
And that's
won.
how that's it. And that's how me start for measure teams that are of high quality, of high performance. When you do your substitution, these new players that are coming, how fast can they click into the system? And if you see Japan, that's what they are. Even though they score a goal with people in the try for question, but that's football. That's
But that's
football.
football because not to your team then score again.
That's
When it's
football.
your team, it's an issue.
We see the VAR don't come into question, Mark, because me know say
Lots
that
of
goal
mistakes.
if na be against we England, na different issue by now. Like the media, we for don't turn over by now and make some corrections there. But it is what it is.
All right.
So far so good, Magdalene. They enjoyed the World Cup, and I hope so we will continue for see better match then ahead.
Dopey.
Well, my African team, France, I think they are good, but the dark horse that everyone's forgetting is Netherlands. They're the
Oh
only
yeah,
team that won all the group stage
No, they
in
didn't
this.
want all. They
all
won
They,
yeah,
two and
draw-
draw
they,
one.
they do all?
Yeah,
yeah,
Netherlands draw one. They had a draw with was it Ecuador?
Oh,
They had a draw with
yes,
Ecuador.
oh,
it's
yes,
Ecuador.
yes.
Yeah,
My apologies. I think Netherlands also
yeah.
have a very, very good young squad, which is testament to the league in the country. I mean, most of the players play for either Ajax or the
PSV and Novel.
second team. Yes.
Yeah.
So um, the Asian countries, Japan is doing very well. Korea, South Korea, they did tremendous, but unfortunately, we'll see what happens. Um, Senegal for me, if only Mane was playing, well, remember that Mane will play. I think say tomorrow morning. I still let it. I still think say we will beat England tomorrow morning. I know. I get a feeling. Say Senegal maybe go pull an upset against England because England will score against USA. We'll get chance. We'll get chance for beats there tomorrow morning. But Morocco, they don't afraid nobody. You know, even though Mickey say Africa stops at South Sudan, but I will include I will include Morocco because Morocco now one of the team that were them cowards, power, they with hunger. It was a point where I would watch one video where they play Belgium inside Belgium. The
Yeah.
Belgium is celebrate when Morocco win. So you can tell you can tell that Morocco they're not come for play. They really come for do something at this World Cup. And this World Cup, now one team like wait man this the top 10 team the way FIFA don't say that the best country in the world. Most of them they struggle. Most
Yeah.
of them they struggle. Germany, struggled. Spain, like you said, Spain also struggling. I think the only team that's being outstanding performance, France. Brazil, they play very good football, but Brazil are not like for score first half. You just like say they had the one where you make it score goal. They don't want to score goal first half. I wish second half, wait 10 minutes for goal. I need a
Yeah.
vex, ready for score now. So, I think sometimes, this is a lesson say ranking, not just number. Not believe in the ranking,
So
that
they put
number.
it on Belgium now.
No, I don't think it's like that. Better than the team. Yeah, why would they win the World Cup?
The
The
golden
Yankee, the FIFA,
yeah.
generation. Yeah.
yeah,
So
forget
Yeah.
FIFA
don't
Yankee
really,
country,
I
yeah.
read after Australia game this morning. I read one article where they say the Belgium team so much divide that even when they left Qatar after where they lost. So after we they knock them out, they eliminate them. They're not go with the same flight. Some of the players them
Yeah,
take different flights for return. So
there's
that
there's
tells you.
something going on inside that
And
Belgium
one of
camp.
the
They need to
interview
solve.
where De Bruyne make now that the team don't you said they're not
The
old, they're not
old.
go able.
Yes.
So you get
Yeah.
a reply from one of the players also where say that's not the point. So it's like they are not seeing eye to eye, and you can see Lukaku in reaction from when the game done, how he come, he hit the dugout. You look at the goalkeeper as well, Couture. It was so frustrating and
One of the
disappointing at the
best
same
keeper
time.
in the world. They get a team they get a team for eliminate any team and any day. And I'm not saying that the FIFA ranking is not true. It is true because Belgium, when it comes to friendlies, they're very dominating. Friendlies, they're very dominating. But I think when it comes to big tournaments like the Europe, we saw them in the European Championship, the Euro World Cup. They did not do very good like we thought we were gonna do. Now the World Cup don't come. That unity not there. That unity. Sometimes they, in football, me what I can say if you get too many good players there, it has for a win game. You need for get one Puelo because nobody one Puelo they work for good player. Good player they work for good player. You know go tell Hazard say go run for the Buena. You know go tell the Buena say go run for Hazard. You know they work. Lukaku not go and go work for anybody else because they all are very strong and talented footballers. So that person for do the extra work for let the team gel. They that's why there's a crack in the national team. Now the coachy don't come and say he don't resign. In the plan for resign. They just say no more. They want to go the team, how far the team they go, he don't resign. I think the next coach will come in, maybe they will give the job to Henri. And if I just make sure before every them play game, may not just get that bond. These are the between the Brazilian and and even the African country like Ghana, Senegal, Morocco. That bond we will get, as a nation or as a country individually, then they make we go far with the spirit. Unfortunately, obviously, Ghana they don't knock them out. But if you see them leading towards the game, everybody happy. They play music, they dance, they joy. But if you see like Belgium, one of No, the happiness not in it. And you just see the way
Yeah.
they play the football. The
The body
happiness not
language
it.
shows it.
Exactly. When they did at the field, they see say they don't want to play together. So how are you supposed to win a tournament that is this prestige if you guys can't come and be united? I think the next coach has a lot of work to do. Not to forsay the player them well, they're very good. That's how they work now the character they will get and how they able build them together to make them one. Now the problem and as for me, my second home England, well, we don't know when they get for come home. We wait for we wait. Go on with this coming home without you.
It
But like
nearly
Emmanuel
comes
said,
home. Last summer, it nearly comes home.
yes,
It's
it was
only
very
that
close.
Chilini
Unfortunately, they
got
lost
back,
the penalty.
Thank
Yeah, like
you.
Emmanuel said,
Thank you.
England is very good team. England is one of the they sleep on England because if you look at the team, young, hungry, determination, energy, all lengthen and they then get her. And the coach he don't do well for pick the right player there, even though he's still missing a few good player there. Like his James not able to go. Madison was injured. If them
Yeah.
player them did it, I reckon it would have been a big more impact in English team because them players they play a big role. But the likes of Harry King, Raheem
even
Sterling,
Ivan Tony is one of the big
for me, I
left
was
out.
going for long because it's not per penalty. Like I don't know which penalty it's. And then everyone, one foot, one eye.
All right,
I will tell
Emmanuel, we
you,
see three coach already. Three coaches. The exit
no,
the
he's
team they
like,
would have
yeah,
been leave.
I
So
gonna
with the
maybe wait
Mexico
for you.
coach, Ghana, and also Belgium. You think say more coaches are on their way out, or those coaches were too it's too early for letting coaches they resign. We resign so.
And Magdalene, it was not too early of waiting happen. And first and foremost, I mean they expect that from that of Belgium. Because even from when they before them going to the tournament, Belgium had not lost leadership. So that was one of the key things. And since that moment, I mean they expect the Football Federation in Belgium for don't fix that up. But they allow that for go into the World Cup. Nine results to the to wait till we see so today. One thing similar thing happened with France, where Deschamps tried for fix. When there was division within the French national team, France struggled. So what he can do, that he resolve straight away. He make sure that he get a say over in players. That each player foresee each other as one and play for each other. Now today, we see how far France able go. We provoke
But
Oliver Giroud
if
as
Pogba be there,
attacker.
they first. If Pogba be there, because Pogba and brother say Pogba Juju
Who and what
Mbappe.
am I fool, man? And he said it's all. He's a little bit of black man will get problem. No, for yeah, black man will get problem. Possibly, but this guy will support and love you as a brother.
Yeah,
Maybe not jealousy, maybe
yeah,
not so jealousy. But you back they play
yeah,
professional. You back they play professional.
yeah,
What's not the problem? If you play a better, higher professional league than you, I saw God marker, not to you.
yeah.
So
Thank you
me,
very
for
much.
what I feel, listen, they watch me. I tell you, say,
French. All right, Mara, so quick one. The round of 16 don't start, and already two teams in. We see Netherlands trash America 3-1. Also Australia lost by 2 goals to Australia. We struggled in the first half and early second
Yep.
half, but we game and
I just want to say, sorry,
we
Australia
nearly
only for dissect them
frustrate
properly.
we really frustrate Argentina at the end. But again, it's a fun fact. The two teams in the world country what they call football soccer, then show the hairstyle they say football now football, not just soccer. So they
Thank you
also
very
don't go
much.
now.
God
Yeah.
bless you. God bless you. I think Australia episode, and they only for doing separate because there's a lot to talk about. And then another week, I don't want to start because if I start, maybe see now on a different conversation. Australia episode, if I do and separate because there's so many holes in Australian football that they don't see. You understand? And we have so much
Yeah.
talent that we have here.
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
could
but
be
how can
represent
I
this
be
country.
paying money to play soccer? If I don't have money, I have talent, no one is seeing me. That's the problem we have in here. It's a different thing. People don't understand.
So,
In
Mari,
Australia,
Mari,
they
the deal
pay
with the do
money for
still,
your
you don't
talent.
worry already.
Yeah, we will
Just call
come
me
to
no more
that. That's
already.
why we are missing lots of talent because the people who get money now they play. The one they will not get, they know they play because they not get money. Emmanuel,
Magdalene, and presently, are they in pain of waiting happen with the Australia team? And we are proud of our boys. They fought hard, but they didn't favor us. This is what we love about soccer. Sometimes you
but
can prepare well.
Page and Cole for don't kill the game. They had the chance.
Yeah. And I think that if the goalkeeper hadn't made that mistake, we should have taken this game very hard
Yeah.
till the end on Argentina. They really gave us a tough run in the first half, and we really played them on a defensive wise form, Matt. Because if you observe, and we were able to close Argentina within with 30 yards. If you observe, whenever they come within with 30 yards, they couldn't be very creative. We were able to tackle them off. So they were very creative from within their own 50 yards camp. But as soon as they reach 70 or for reach inside with 30 yards of play, Australia they able cut them off. Except like the the goats Messi were able to mesmerize way and get that clever finish. But that football, there are times you see people and able show their creativity even in a difficult situation. And at the 9 minutes, we seen cool had an open chance that if he been score
Yeah,
that
before
ball
that
by
it was
now,
Page. Before that it was Page.
yeah,
After Australia
pitch
get the 2-1 goal, about 3 or 4 minutes later, Page gets another chance. Wait for don't kill the
chance,
match.
yeah. So we miss couple of chances, and that football. There are times that they will not favor you as you presume or as you plan, but it's we appreciate waiting the team do, and we're proud to welcome them back home. And this is for me, it's a wake up call for the football Australia that they need to give attention to the talents of the young people of this nation.
Rather than putting money first.
Let's expect the talent than the income. If we start to expect the talent and the income, Australia will be one of a good representatives or competitors in soccer. Because one thing, Magdalene, that is not a lie, Australia is never short of talent. Every sector you touch in this land has a talent in it. You come into athletics, go into swimming, you go into volleyball, whatever you want to touch, they have a talent for that. And who are ready to compete and not participate. But it's all about the approach. So we see what's happen. It's like it just wait up, it just like waits up with police and soldier. They say when police come on, soldier they come on. USA come on, Australia falla. So
Football, not soccer.
so as you say, we are being sent home to come and play our football.
Hey, man, hey, man, they stand for presidents. They get me votes.
Okay.
So
Now so okay, I don't know now. I will talk to show you the plan for the man over to Alpha.
No, but another plan. But for me, I feel like somebody like Emmanuel deserves to be in that committee because he's engaged with the youth. He's engaged with the people that are here, the old people, the young people. He knows sport very well. You know, you can't tell this guy was once a world best at African best, Australian best at table tennis, unless he tell you say, Padima may not be the best table tennis when he comes here. Because he's in sports, it's a bit all sports. When you talk about all sports, it's very engaging and he welcomes anyone to have a conversation. Now, them people that you need
Yeah,
in
but
a
we
platform.
investigate them. with a
Yeah,
yesterday.
investigation.
Yesterday,
But everywhere
so
they
we are asking a pastor. Pardon me for this, a pastor. See some pecks them around. I know you understand. They come all the way Adelaide, they come. And those pecks were around Emmanuel. And what was
Yeah.
we were talking about the community pastor. Why pecks for I expected them next thing and handle them, import them. But they left not nice. From all the
Well,
Emmanuel,
Magdalene, as you
can
know,
go for some.
no, don't yourself know, the community to grow. As the community
Of
to
course,
grow, you get for create an enable environment for cater for the people.
definitely.
So that's what we are
Hallelujah.
doing. We are
Hallelujah.
creating the environment to cater for
That's
the
true.
people. And not finally the
Definitely.
community grow, we not get the enable environment. At the end of the day, they end up into chaos. Cape Verde grow. So people from far and wide, through this media forum, they hear about Cape Verde and the African Nations Cup. They will call, we are coming. We can always say, we are proud to have you. And through the media, like with the post up with flyers and engage people one-on-one on the social media. And then they come. So like when you meet them, you must give them that hug, that's welcome in hand. Maggie.
Those pecs. Those pecs. Anyway, I left us so.
See what I talk.
So
We don't talk about so we don't even vex for now. We don't talk about
so
so.
quick one. Tomorrow morning, England, Senegal. I know so you guys bars and France, Poland. Is it France, Poland?
Yeah, France, Poland.
Yeah, France,
All
Poland,
right.
Yes.
England,
So
Senegal.
Yeah.
quick one. Which of the teams you guys are going for?
Me, I think two African countries they qualified tomorrow, France and Senegal. Senegal they pull the upsets.
Okay,
Even though
I
Emmanuel,
think I'll go with England, France.
oh, I think
England,
France.
France.
Yeah, I'll go with
Yeah.
France because of the way I see Poland play. May have to be one.
I'll go
no,
I'll
with
be one
England
Argentina
because
come up.
Poland, France
Poland.
is a big Poland tomorrow. Definitely.
All right, so overall now, Uda I think say go make at least two team don't go and when I don't pick. Uda the balance for when I think say go join the team that when I don't select already into the quarterfinals itself.
I think Morocco can pull an upset against Spain, and Portugal will beat Switzerland. So that was gonna be a good match. Morocco against Spain. That's gonna be a very very tough match for Spain. Um, we'll see who comes and who shows up. But Morocco, for me, I think that they can make it as close to the semi-final. Morocco and
Okay.
Portugal, they have obviously the great Cristiano Ronaldo. So that guy play not play in aura alone. They move
And
mountain.
they cause noise. And they
yes.
cause
Even though
Yeah.
I don't know if people go for Fernandez.
yeah, I tell you
I
one thing,
don't think
Joby.
any already.
Wait. I don't left plenty Manchester group there because I want to enjoy the World Cup. So this Manchester
Okay.
guys,
What is on
Manchester
the
Okay.
World Cup? Bruno Fernandez score goal. Ronaldo
say
and score
do
the goal. Not a World Cup.
they don't grab the goats don't pass compete with them team. With team. They don't go.
No, that's
But
what
this
you now.
Manchester people, every day
The game we
is
play.
Ronaldo, this Ronaldo, that Ronaldo. I get
The game we
days and
play
I say,
last
okay,
week. Bruno Fernandez. Now, okay, that goal. Now that be score. Now Bruno or now Ronaldo.
now,
Let's
wait,
see.
let me explain.
No,
Me,
it's Ronaldo's goal for me.
Yeah.
I'm representing the ball church Ronaldo in here.
Yes, that's true.
Them go watch the goal fine. But they don't give
Yep.
Bruno, even Ronaldo not celebrate the goal as in. We know Ronaldo in celebration.
True.
It's true. Or
Yeah.
of mind. In
Yeah.
none of the celebration, what he do, he runs straight to Bruno Organ.
Bruno.
Yeah.
So that time you say, even with your mind, he was not thinking this is mine. Maybe it gets contemplated like it's mine, it's not, but let's me celebrate with Bruno. So I wonder why people they take issue. And we're not here against them. It is what it is. It's not got nothing for proof to anybody again. It's the goat forever for some of us. And they keep playing. So me, I don't pick any team, but they can't say bye-bye now because one sleep we go for wake 2 o'clock Jishno.
Exactly. 2 to
We're
6.
not idle, that's our happiness.
Yeah.
We don't go to club, we don't drink alcohol. What we do is
Nah.
soccer, football.
Yeah.
Tell Australian
This
people
is
let's say now football, not to soccer.
I don't know where I look for that. Anyway.
All right, so we say bye now. As we go now, Dopey, where to go be round up message, and we're also going to get to you fast. Who don't know now you,
No,
Sabi
me,
analyze.
you know,
Yeah.
I appreciate.
Yeah, but man, what we gonna do? We need the
Yeah.
community also for support this platform. You know, we dey do well, we dey bring the African Cup, I dey try my best for write articles. Tomorrow I will publish the article for the game that we play Saturday. But the community, you know, they embrace the media itself. You know, we need people like how they do live show, people come on board and we get fun and all. You know, thanks to Dopey is one of the people we always they support me. You know, even before coming live, they go tell me say something anyway I can talk. We'll meet up later. They tell me say I talk. I say, hey, you be the watch. You say yes, I be the watch.
Of course, you know, support goes a long way. Support they go a long way.
Yeah.
Everybody needs support in this world. No way, no matter, you know. And for the fact, say this no one day happen at the Salone community. Get somebody that they used to do this as a profession, travel the world, you know, as a journalist, and coming into this small community again at Sydney and becoming a part of it and creating a platform where people like me can go and just express myself. It means a lot. This thing nobody ever happened before. You know what I mean? So for me, I want to say thank you to you, Magdalene. You know, it is a tremendous job that you do. There's a lot of hard work behind the scenes. I know editing, posting, writing a lot of articles, and also keeping up with what's going on at Salone, and also giving Salone people their way to go on the African Cup. So the information is never endless. You get always anytime I go online, I know say if I read the article there, I always know it's gonna happen. You know, so like the Pusa Tombo today, cause goodness. Are you forced at the one too?
Not what we play anymore.
Or like Salone Premier League, the highlights there, the game there, the picture there, everything that's got to do with sports in general. You know, you're the first person where I know say the coverer in this Salone community. So thank you for coming on board and for doing this. You're right. You know, Saloma, the thing is with Tanga is not like I reckon I can say, are they ready for do me do? Are they do me own by myself? We need to start to get behind you and making this something that come online, show that support, make it big, because this is something that as a country or even as a community here, we can take it far and wide. Some people that they watch now other states, I did the comment. One guy say this Saudi Arabia. I said, hey, party my next
Yeah.
Like, it goes far.
Yeah.
It goes far. Thank you very much. Thank you again for inviting me. You know, me I commentator Emmanuel on the where I go and say
but they bite. The commentator on the bite. The commentator for me neutral.
They bite.
It's a shame. Emmanuel, it's a shame. $10.
No, Magdalena, now more training for Andrea.
No, forget about the training. It's good in comment.
They owe me money.
Emmanuel, I'm going to wait at the commentary.
No.
The only mic, only mic. It's national. I think it's Mamouche. I think as you see, Omar they grab go there put the mic down. He say me had to go. Umar came to do commentary. Umar, I gave the mic to him. He said, no, I don't want to do it again. So we need to get a meeting.
No, that's true.
The job not easy.
But Dopey is a shame, Dopey. Dopey as a professional athlete is placing a bet of $10. And this man said we pay the $10 over 4 fortnights.
I already thought you get where they for make money.
Yeah.
$50.
Why would you place $10 over Hassan said of scoring goal? Hassan is a big player. We need something like $500 if Hassan score.
No, next time. The final for sure. The final will get for now we get for commentate the final.
Sure, so be it. So be it, Dopey.
Dopey. It's
so be
$2.50. My God.
It's tab. It's a tab. Yeah.
So Emmanuel, what's going to be round up message as we go now?
And once more, thank you, Magdalene. And sincerely, Dopey just on hits on the key points wherein your service towards this community will not able to pay you for them. But that's what we keep on seeing. That life, there are times good things come for those we can give the biggest sacrifice. And I know say this way you gain as a sacrifice to the community will yield you a greater dividend in the future to come. Because
I want
you
to work na
know
SPS.
this can be a sababu, so be it. We go pray over that, Magdalene. And you will succeed in that because this is a very good platform where you go use, you go add into your resume. And I'm sure say themselves will get need a program like this where you're able to get a connection with the African community. You can be a
Diversity.
link up. Diversity, yes, you can be a link up for that. And this is a footprint of your good handwork. They can look into it and say, yes, this is correct. We need your type of
I
people.
work na SBS, so I will talk about we player the way good Hassan, Yedi Mamouche, Tunashe,
Mahmoud
step up,
Tinashi, yes, John Roberts, the like of
Johnny,
Bonjo Man,
my
Kali,
boy Rahim Kali, Mark,
Rahim, Mark.
and I
We
also
have
talk about
talent.
Michael
No,
athletics,
wait. Emmanuel Depa line
professionalism.
up the whole Kiva team.
Yeah, Emmanuel Ibarra. Because
No, I'm coming there. We have David from Ghana.
I need to
Yes,
talk about Kiva player them.
we even
We
have
Yeah,
can talk
Richie
about
no,
the
from
player.
Ghana.
I'm getting there.
I may call all Kiva player, but not call Vandy. For 2 months, we are not talking about Vandy in this program. That's
Oh,
a player like you get all the
Magdalene.
bragging right. Brag about all the bad player, but I banned Vandy. Even when they
Mandy,
comment
Okay.
if he play for the final, in name
I'm gonna tell Maggie, say, once upon a time, Vandy was a very little midfielder. Vandy, any
Exactly.
ball way top when a free kick that goal. I don't know when I'm telling
Exactly.
they will not be coming out for video the highlights. Like now.
it beats
Yeah.
me imagination. Vandy was on the
No.
sideline jogging as a goalkeeper. He's in.
Wait.
I don't think you noted the guys and Michael tell me say
I look well, you know,
I look at the goal. I don't I come up and see the boss. I said, how can Van do this?
I don't know the man is the guy.
So Vandy and John O'Shea. So now John O'Shea will on a team. Vandy.
Well, and to be sincere, Magdalene, that's the actual attribute we will put on Vandy. It's like a journal. He's one of the guys, to be sincere, now a potential at the community. Vandy is one of the people the way they play every single role at that football pitch. You will sabi Vandy well will tell you say now one of the boys the way sabi kick this ball. It gets a natural venom. It can hit that ball from post to post. And you put her as goalkeeper, he able to serve in that position. You put Vandy as number 2, he able to serve. You put her as a midfield, he able to serve. As number 9, he able to serve. The only position he will strength small almost something the way you use as left back. But you use as 4, use as number 4, he able to play there. Like I expect him so much. At it's just unfortunate that it decide for slow down in football at a time when some of we be the expectancy for the hit the major rights them in football. But it is what it is. It's still contributing immensely into the community, and I really appreciate in good work. Trust me, one of the people away I see say very passionate about football. The only side you go see Vandy they argue now when it comes to football. Besides that, you never hear Vandy. And the only easy side for locate Vandy is when it comes to football.
Yeah, I only see him on Saturday. So now make
That's
a
it.
band I don't
Yeah. So that is passion. That's what he loves doing, and that's what he knows to do. Trust me, that's what he knows to do. He really knows football. He knows soccer.
Way Alpha.
So
Manuel,
yes,
everybody gets
Alpha, yes, Alpha is doing
Everywhere.
extremely well, and is very presently is mourning the death of his in-law, and
Oh my goodness.
I extend my
Yeah, I saw
condolences
him,
to
he was
him
watching the
family
match yesterday. He was watching the match,
yesterday.
so he watched both matches
Yes,
online.
so that was why,
Oh,
like yesterday,
I
you see the Cape Verde team in black band because we've been in mourning yesterday, the pass we daddy.
I didn't know that Brandy Alpha, had such issue. Well, my sincere condolence to him and the family.
Yeah,
Alpha,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right then, guys, we're going now, and we wish yourself good luck. So because we already our team that they play today back.
Sure.
Making us play about love no follow we the money no.
Me na England.
England come on, they kind of host. It's
Dopey.
You
Dopey.
I have my opinion.
Dopey, I'll text you after 4 a.m.
So we don't understand next week for representing that. Emmanuel, I swear, we need to talk next week for feedback.
Okay, thank you, Magdalene. But definitely, you get a media personnel next week for Cape Verde, and it will be an interesting show again.
First fine boy, you first person like Glazer.
Wow.
Novice person we not get 6 pack of fine person. Because this show also will connect people through fineness. So fine person, Zimbabwe will find fine person in the back. Fine person. Knockout 40 now.
All right, Magdalene. All right, guys.
It's just fun. Anybody can come and talk on behalf of. All right, then. See you guys next Saturday. Emmanuel, we talk during the week. Thank you, Dopey. It's a pleasure having you in the show, and I think we had a great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdalene, for having me. Dopey!
Right.
Yes.
Dopey do!
Any bets England beats?
Okay.
Dopey, I put $3.
No, $3 too small. Me at $10. Not the bet.
No, you don't have to bet now. Let me not put on $3. That you don't have to pay back.
After paying the cash for $10. Okay, my guy, $15. If England beats Senegal tomorrow,
$15.
Do I see in a film? I go $15 after pay. So divide that into 4.
Magdalene, and those $15 we England we lost. If we lost,
KD party best. What thing they get in Sierra Leone? The KD
when they give 5%,
$15.
The 95. Yes, the 95% and I
at the end of the night, $10 you person will get back. So it's clever. It's betting $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Magdalene, show they are the watch sense. They are the watch sense and then pull by you so.
Don't be that money small. You know
offline. Thank you.
Offline. Okay, bye-bye. Wellington?
Melon Street. Yeah. Alright, Magdalene. Alright, guys. It was good having you.
Alright, bye-bye. Have a nice
Okay, Magdalene.
night.
Yeah, you too.